What's going on, guys? It's Jimmy here. China has hacked US government and European agencies, and it's a massive one, and it ain't good. Take a look here. Yeah, Chinese intelligence has hacked State Department emails. They have gotten in, they have infiltrated significant department breaches here. And it's the second time in recent months, government officials have acknowledged a China based cyber attack on US government infrastructure and suggests that the hackers have had access to government systems since at least May of 2023. Chinese hackers accessed email accounts linked to the US government, Microsoft says. And this was a very, very significant one. Take a listen here.
Not a new email hack by China. Overnight, Microsoft revealed that a Chinese hacking organization broke into the email for 25 major organizations, including government agencies. Trevor Alt is tracking the latest. Good morning, Trevor.
Good morning, George. A very alarming announcement from Microsoft. They say this started in May, and while they didn't specify which organizations were hit, they have revealed some of them, as you said, are government agencies. And Microsoft says the group behind this is known as Storm 0558. The company claims this is a spy agency that's based in China, and we're told Storm gained access to these organizations' emails by getting into individual accounts. And what that means is at this point, it's not clear how much data or information they were actually able to access. Now, Microsoft says the threat has since been completely mitigated. They've added new automated systems to detect these kinds of hacks, but they say cyber attacks are becoming much more common and a lot more sophisticated, and any individual could be targeted.
And then also last month here, just a few weeks ago, Russian hackers breached the US government agencies as well. Multiple US federal government agencies were hit in a global cyber attack carried out by the Russian ransomware gang known as Clop. This is your reminder, Russia and China are not our friends, as they're attacking us almost every month via cyber attacks. So somehow this is, not considered an act of war, even though it is an attack on our infrastructure. Also, previously, Russia has hacked multiple infrastructure here in the United States, including websites for US state websites and airport data and airport websites, anything they can to get in our infrastructure. It's pretty concerning, to say the least. And you don't know what they've accessed, what kind of data they've accessed. Yeah, you can let me know your thoughts here in the comments on this, but yeah, they're literally trying to infiltrate us, Russia and China, and you never know when it's happening. Yeah. Also here on the final day of the NATO summit going on here today, they actually said that Ukraine's future would be in NATO. Now, Ukraine's a little bit confused by this because they're not saying when Ukraine would be allowed into NATO. In fact, take a listen here to this because this actually kind of sums it up. And a lot of people are like, well, when would Ukraine be in NATO? What needs to happen to this? And if Ukraine is allowed into NATO, that would mean that Russia can't attack Ukraine at all. If they do, it would mean a declaration of war against the United States and the 31 other countries as well. And if that happens, it could be the start of World War III. Take a listen here.
And joining me now from Kyiv is Timofey Milovanov, a president of the Kyiv School of Economics and former Minister of Economic Development and Trade of Ukraine. Sir, a very warm welcome to CNN. And let me get your reaction first to NATO affirming Ukraine's future is in the alliance, but stopping short of saying how or when it will be invited to join.
Yes, I think many Ukrainians here in Kyiv and elsewhere in Ukraine feel frustrated, to put it diplomatically, exactly because there is no clarity on what needs to be done. There is language about the reforms, both security and democratic, reforms, but there is no indication about what those pertain. If we compare it with the EU candidacy, when there was a discussion about that, the EU put forward 7 specific criteria that Ukraine has to meet, and Ukraine is on path forward to meeting them. So the discussion is ongoing there. So at the very least, many Ukrainians expected that there would be more specificity about what needs to be done to get into NATO. Now it appears a little bit hollow.
So there's disappointment, but is coming up with a timeline at this moment just simply impossible because nobody knows when Russia is going to withdraw?
Well, I agree with you completely about the timeline, but it would have been possible to come up with criteria.
Mm-hmm. Now, Ukraine's strongest supporter in this war is the United States, but unfortunately it does not support Kyiv's bid to join NATO, at least not yet while the war is going on. I mean, what do you make of that?
Yeah, that's going to generate some tension between Kyiv and Washington, at least in the nearest future, but I don't think this tension will be long-lasting, maybe days or weeks. And the allies will figure out a way to move forward. And also, there is discussion about specificity about concrete steps in security guarantees. That's not as highlighted as it, in my view, should have been. Because, for example, comprehensive action plan by NATO has been declared. It's even in communique to become sustainable and funded over the years. There is a NATO-Ukraine Council, which is established, and it has met for the first time yesterday. So there are some specific, very technocratic steps to ensure continuous and formalized relationship between NATO and Ukraine.
Yeah, it's kind of ironic because, Vladimir Putin says that he wanted to invade Ukraine to prevent NATO expansion. And NATO expansion has actually happened even more. There's now 2 additional countries that has been added here. Yeah, as you can see here, like yesterday, Turkey agrees to back Sweden's NATO bid finally. So now Finland and Sweden will be added to NATO. Finland already in here in the last couple months here. Now Sweden will finally be added to NATO. It was actually Vladimir Putin who caused this to happen from threatening them. And, Finland, Sweden historically being neutral, they said that Vladimir Putin's threats to them gave them no choice but to join NATO to give them more security. So ironically, Vladimir Putin actually caused NATO to expand and eventually may end up Ukraine joining NATO as well. But he's literally just, attacking other countries, threatening other countries is only going to make them want more security from being attacked. Let me know your thoughts here in the comments. I'll keep you up to date here with everything. If you haven't yet, subscribe down below, click the bell icon so you don't miss out on any new videos. It's completely free to do so. Also, thanks so much for liking and sharing these videos. Click here to see the Netherlands government just collapsed and the US has the exact same problem. Or the Fed just warned us that the next Great Depression is happening right now. So click on one of those videos next. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next video.